So yeah, how we feeling about this? Power universe? Because I got things I need to say. Because I'm a little annoyed with these niggas. I ain't gonna hold y'all. Like, what's up? How y'all feel?
Which
Nah,
one?
so Power Book 2 getting canceled. I don't understand. I feel like I got a cliffhanger now. I'm really pissed off with 50, or like I don't know if it was him, if it was like the production company, if it was the network or whatever the case is. But I feel like it was doing pretty good.
I feel like it's a lot more to the story. Like a lot more can be done with it. Like I don't understand really, and I don't know if it's because he's now coming out with one with Ghost and Tommy, like their upbringing, so certain things have to cut. Like I don't really know what's going on here, but like
Well, I do not. I do feel like the one that he's doing with Ghost and Tommy, like they up and coming. I feel like that was gonna collide with like Raising Kanan at some point because y'all know
Mhm.
like in the story that's how they all like link up. Like Kanan's like the OG and they the little niggas. So I really don't understand why they gonna cancel Power Book 2 but keep motherfucking BMF. Like no shade, BMF needs to get canceled. Like I'm so sorry. Like this season of BMF, it's mad repetitive, and I know that's not the actual story. Like it's hella repetitive. It's very scripty. It's not giving like a story of. It's giving we just made up our own story and we're just based like it's giving based off of.
It
Like
do.
it's not giving. This is the story. You feel
It
me?
looks
Like
like
I'm
they
not
freeballing it. It do look like they freeballing the
right.
whole
Right.
concept. I'm not even gonna stunt. But I'm gonna say it like this. He could get back the Power 2 like franchise if he does it as a film. Just to wrap up the story. Like make the fucking movies just so we know what happened to freaking Reek. Because we've been watching this little nigga since the first one. So I just want to know how the whole story concludes.
I
And
just feel
then
like
I feel like ain't nobody watching Tommy Force. At least I don't watch Tommy Force. Like it
I
just
don't
wasn't
either.
interesting enough for me to care. I'd rather have sort of story upbringing, and they could have brought back little Braden to play Tommy if they wanted to, but they could have
Right.
started over for me.
nah, I'm
With
so
that, they don't
sorry.
got to do Tommy for us. But
I don't like
BMF, I'm
that.
not gonna stunt.
Mm-mm.
It was slow when it started. It picked up for me, and I really was into it. And now I'm like, it's really off script, but I still fuck with BMF low key because I just like the story. I've seen the documentaries and the different film depictions, so I guess I just like following the BMF like kind of franchise story.
It's
Mm,
and I think for me living here, watching certain things, it's like, bro, I know that's not Techwood. It no longer exists. So it's like knowing that you made up or like just use the different projects, like it's just certain stuff because I'm like Techwood is demolished. Like so it's like,
right.
what are we really doing
And
here?
Meech is in an episode with a fucking AirPod in his ear. So like,
Yeah, and
when
then
is this
it's
taking
also the
place?
slang that's
It's
being
giving.
used. Like nothing
Yeah,
is
it's giving
is
very
is granted.
2000.
I didn't live here in the '90s, but I know they weren't saying that. So it's like it's certain stuff where it's just like it's not even they sunglasses is up to date. Like what are we doing? Like
I
Yeah,
it's
the
think that
only thing
that's
that's
more of
out
a
of
this season thing because I feel
no
like the
this season.
first
I feel
season
like
had
when they were based
dropped.
in
yeah,
Detroit,
no, this
it was
year.
fine. But
Yeah,
once
Yeah.
once it transitioned to the Atlanta portion, that's where it got kind of shaky, and it's just like, and then it's also going to transition to St. Louis, so it's like what are we doing? Like,
let me
and
say,
it has
except
to
for
be
that sister
realistic because
scandal.
right now it just looked like Terry like yeah fuck you in this city and like it's too much and it
My
just is
whole thing
like
about
bro
that is,
everybody want to kill you so it's just too much.
what y'all think about that girl? Because I'm like, sis running around with the flamethrower and shit. Spoiler alert. But like, that is the worst character to be added to the whole Power Universe
Yeah,
history.
no,
Like,
I didn't
what
get
the fuck
that.
is the point of sis? Like, they've had all types of villainous type of characters or whatever the case is. Who the hell is she and why? Like, I don't even understand why. Like, they threw this in to the
I
story.
get I guess everybody needs a villain since Lamar is no longer in that portion of it but that nigga
I
was
love him. I
crazy.
love him. I ain't gonna
And so I
lie.
guess
I
they had to
fucking
replace.
Lamar
The
was.
Yeah,
singing and
Lamar
killing
was
niggas.
that nigga,
The
but
singing and killing for me, I commend them for that. That's a good character because I was like, damn, that voice. You serenading for me before you gonna take my life. You know what? I ain't even
nigga
First
stayed
off,
with the
this nigga
tune.
could not die. He
no,
was
he
like not
can't even
dying.
get
Nigga
no
was like the
fucking life.
Terminator.
He is
He
a
came back
fucking
like six
roach. He
times,
would
fighting like every
not
time.
die. Nah, that shit was fucking insane.
But it's just like her. First of all, her Henrietta, whatever she want to be. Like it's weird because it's like the whole Brian being whatever the hell he's being, and then her dad you like it's just weird because it's like how does that really tie
It's too
into
much.
them? Yeah, like it's like she has her own storyline, but why?
It's
I'm not gonna
unrealistic
lie though,
because at the end of the day,
the flamethrower was that was top tier. I kind of like that, but um, I just
that shit was wild.
it's
It was random and wild.
because it's
It gave me
extra
ideas.
crazy. Like it's not needed. Like, can this nigga just raise his
It's
kid?
not
Like, I
Nobody
don't
was doing shit
understand.
like that. Nobody
It was
was
very
doing shit like that
unnecessary.
in the night.
Not in
Nobody was doing shit
1990.
like that.
And
They
that's
would
Like,
have
my point. Like this
they
is
maybe would have
not
smooth
giving
chopped off that
90s.
nigga's baby toe or some shit. They would have cut off a finger or some
It's
shit.
it's
But
definitely
they
not
definitely
giving
would not
90s.
have done no
or they just
flamethrower.
would have lit
And then
him on fire physically.
she was like, say
They
hello to
would
my
have
little
had
friend.
what's
Whatever
some
she was
shit
doing, like
called the
Scarface.
they had a Molotov cocktail or some shit. Like that made
Yeah,
more sense than a flamethrower. That's why I'm like, it's not giving 90s. Like I turned the shit off. Like I can't even tell you the last two episodes because I'm like, BMF is cool, but it's unnecessary and it's not making
And
sense anymore.
she also looks like a 2020s like fucking trapper. Like I'm like, why you out here running around look like little baby with like the
cause she
front look?
got
Like
she do got grills and all of
she
that.
got
Again,
girls and everything. Like I'm like,
it's not giving.
you look like a current like Atlanta trapper right now. Like right
Like
now.
I feel like I would walk right into you if I was in Lennox Mall. Like I feel like I'm gonna see somebody who looks just like you. Like this isn't. It's not giving. So
Like the only thing that still looks the same is the house. Like that's the only thing that remains the same. Like
You know who I would keep in the house too? Give it up to Miss Lucille because the mama is doing the
oh yeah,
do,
she
baby.
is.
And I always loved her from like classic '90s stuff. I don't know if y'all remember who she is. Like she played in Living Single. She was Overton's sister, and
Mm-hmm.
she
yeah,
was also
she was
yeah
old
Eddie's
girl with the
girlfriend.
buns on that, and she was on Fresh Prince and
Yeah, she was
everything
on a
else.
lot of shows back
It
in the day.
was. So Miss Lucille is doing it, baby. Like I love
And
her.
she looked just like his
Yeah,
mom in
she
real
do.
life. Like that's like perfect. Like that, they ain't did nothing right. They got that right because they need to find him a fat nigga for Terry. Just saying, because Terry's big as fuck.
Yo,
Have
he
y'all
wasn't
seen a
always
recent
that.
picture
He
of him?
wasn't always
He's big.
that big
No,
though.
I know,
He
but
wasn't.
like, damn,
And
like,
they be having like Terry got the Forrest Whitaker eyes, so I feel like
I'm
they
like,
got
no,
that done up
I
quite
don't
nicely.
even. I
Yeah,
don't even
not
be
quite
talking about the
nicely.
eye. I just leave that eyeball thing alone. Like, cause Shorty in real life without the eye, say, yeah,
Like
okay,
they
pop
really
it.
they had to tighten it up to make it smooth. Like they really did. They had to go with the theme. Now Michi, he don't look like the big ass version of his father that was running around. Cock Diesel over there need to put on some weight.
I mean, but he always. This is they still in the '90s. Like they're not in the 2000s. So
Yeah, he no one buff up. He can't buff up yet. It's probably like next season is when he's gonna have to start bulking because they really don't. He don't really get that bulky until like maybe 2000, like 2-1
If
ish type of thing. But hopefully there's not another season
If
because that show is whack.
if it lasts that long, like we
It's
not
getting whack.
shows now. I feel like I have like a love hate relationship with television when it comes to stuff like that because although we fell in love with the Power Universe, we got to watch that shit from start to finish. Like that shit went on for mad seasons to get a full story. Now nothing really lasts past 3 or 4 P. Like you're not gonna get maybe more than 4 seasons out of some shit. Like everybody has to tune in. Like the ratings must have to be through the roof for this
Yeah,
to
but 50
continue.
was already saying that Stars was hating on Power Book. Like he been saying that. Like he's like, yo, they even them changing the time slots and shit like that. Like they've been saying it. Cause realistically, who's home watching something on a Friday night? Like I don't watch it when it airs. I either catch it like when it comes out early or I catch it Sunday night, Monday morning, something like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not watching it when it premieres. So it's like for me, Sunday was easy because I'm winding down. I'm getting ready to chill for the night. You know, get ready for work the next day. Fuck it, let me watch Power Book. But Friday, niggas, you know, most of the time I'm asleep or at work. So it's like I'm not watching it when it premieres. You feel me? So maybe that played a factor in it. But 50's been saying that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what are they supposed to do? But for them to just do a 2-part like ending, that doesn't make sense as to why they're not getting a whole season. Like just do the series, like the season finale, series finale, whatever it's called, and keep it pushing. But for us to get two-part episodes, come on, son. And them shits come out in like within months of each other. It's not like back to back. It's like I think one drops in June, the other one come out in September. Like what is I'm What is going on here? Can somebody please fill me in? Because as a fan, my
Well,
heart is broken, and they have not gone on their podcast to talk about it. I don't know if y'all watch Braden and Tariq's podcast on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
but they have not. They haven't had a podcast in months. Like, it's pissing me off. I ain't gonna lie, it's pissing me off, y'all. I'm happy I got that off my chest.
nah, it's kind of crazy. It's like legit. I feel like they could have done a better job, like preparing the audience, because I know, like the way 50 Cent was saying it, like that little Negro didn't pick up his phone. He didn't know that the show was getting clipped. So I think that he was taking a devastating hit because he be in Jamaica, like
Yeah,
gallivanting,
he really do.
you know what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
having a blast with the fam and doing his thing. And then just to find out you unemployed, bro. Like you legit unemployed right now.
Yeah, he was straight
I don't
like,
know of
don't
anything
ask me shit.
else.
I don't know nothing. Don't ask me why the show got clipped, but I guess that shit is coming out in a couple of weeks. Like, that was posted. I was like, damn.
But
But I do feel like the writer strike had a very big part in it because the way they was even dropping the seasons, it was like damn near a year before we was getting the season. So it was like, come on, son. Like, real fans just be locked in, but people who was really, really watching it, it's like, yo, I gotta wait a year to see this shit. I'm on to something else. So maybe that factored in it too, but the way they even announced that the show got
most people buy in the streaming apps, like you said, but a lot of people don't even have the apps. They get in the free 99 type of cable situation and they watching the shit. So the reality of it is nobody's getting views from any one of these supporting things. So it's like the opening premiere of the show when it drops on its actual network, then getting the streams from the alternative apps. But then if you're not even watching this through the alternative apps, there's like no clicks and no plays. So I feel like half the shows that we seeing is going through the same thing. And then when you said with the writer's strike, it caused a delay of content. I don't even remember what happened half the time. I'd be like, oh, I'm watching stuff, and I'm like, it's been so long since
oh
this
yeah, let me go
dropped.
back.
Wait, black shows is getting clipped, like, because I don't feel like that's the show that should have got canceled. So, but because even with the
Yeah.
way they do and this is black shows in general now, the season 6A portion of the show, then season 6B, like it was never like that. You got 22 to 26 episodes per season, and that was just that. Now it's you get like 3 months worth of episodes, and then we'll see you again in November. Like what?
Right.
But you know
Yeah.
what? I give them credit for it because the writer's strike actually proved what people thought. It was supposed to create that type of disturbance. It was supposed to drive down ratings to make these major networks have to pay them more money. Like, look, we can shut down your whole production company because if we're not producing the content, like we know this as content creators, like you have to continuously produce content and effort to build a platform. So for them, companies like Stars and HBO, they're losing money because we got to wipe shows and then spend all of this money to get another show to take its time slot, and
I
then
don't even
hope that
think
they
they
can.
spending more money to get a new show. They just giving what the previous people want to take,
Good. That is true. That's how
That's
a
how
lot
they
of
get
these.
Tubi
and
movies.
that's why they clipping
That's
so
what I
many
was gonna
shows.
say. That's where Tubi comes from because that's how a lot of these people kind of get their start. Like a lot of people are kind of getting famous right now because the people who were in the place before them, they're not taking that money. That's like, yo, I've been in the game for a break. This money's too low for me. If they walking away, they're not taking it. They're gonna give it to the next person who's willing to take it. And that's why content has been sucking so much because they're just letting anybody just. Oh, you can act. Oh, yeah, you cute. All right, boom. We gonna throw you in a motherfucking TV show, and it's like. But this is whack content. Like I don't want to watch this. So are you wasting? So what's the resolve? Are we losing more money by making this mediocre content that nobody's watching, or are we gonna just pay these people who was giving us the views and the ratings? We gonna give them the money they deserve so that the viewers are actually watching this shit.
But you know what? I give Tubi its credit for this, like very simple reason. I give Tubi its shine because it allows for especially a lot of Black content creators to have a platform that isn't so tied down with like the bureaucracy of Hollywood, and it lets them make their films their way. And I feel like that's kind of the thing for Tubi right now. It's like if I can't get on a major network or if I'm a show that got canceled off of a major network, I have the likelihood of having it picked up or premiered someplace else. And I mean, it's content for everybody. Like I said, white, black, blue, green, everything is on Tubi. But it just
Oh, they need to
specifically
take Power.
allows.
Power Book 2 need to roll their ass over to Tubi because I ain't gonna lie, Tubi be having some movies that don't make no type of sense. But I'll be locked in. I'll be like, girl, how the hell did all these new characters just come? Am I watching? I was asking myself a lot with Tubi movies. Am I watching the same movie? Because where the hell all this new cast of people come from? Like, what did I miss? Like, But Power Book 2, y'all need the 50. Go holler at Tubi real quick. Don't even go to Netflix because I ain't got that shit. So I'm gonna do Tubi. It's
Yeah.
free. Niggas will watch it. Like,
I just
just go to
want
Tubi.
one movie. One movie. I'm telling you, he could get that shit and he can make that shit like state property. Like he can literally do one movie and that will wrap the whole story up. And I bet you because of that, that'll turn a whole flip. He'll have a whole thing of films like 50 Cent holla at your girl. Because I'm telling you, we could get this money together. I have the vision.
See, I'm feeling because considering how the last season ended, I do feel like they could do a movie, but they would need to do another season first because of the way the last season ended. Like that shit ended crazy. So it's enough content there to at least carry out 10 episodes. Like it's a whole lot of shit going on. Fuck out of here. I'm
Yeah, I
absolutely
don't know.
mad.
I mean, at the same time, it's not like this is something new that be going on. Like, it's a lot of shows in general that you don't get no warning, no nothing. Like, your shit just clipped. That's just that. Like,
Yeah, like no series finale no more. We don't get none of that. Oh, season Kanan. I feel like this upcoming season is kind of going to be like, all right, what the hell is going on here? None of this makes sense. But most of the shows are a little like,
Not right.
How does this tie into X Y Z? Like I don't understand.
Raising Kanan to me is sticking true to the storyline. Like now we have an understanding of who his mother was, and now I can also make the connection to him and Tariq. I feel like he's gonna take his mother out. That's really what it comes down
Oh
to.
yeah, no, that's coming.
Like
We
I
know
just know
that.
that that's gonna be the buildup. We all kind of know that that's gonna be the buildup. I just want to see how he get at Rock
Cause
because
even the
like
way he
just
took
what
this
she
nigga
did in
out,
front of him with his father was gangster. Like
that
she
was
looked him dead in the face.
crazy.
right.
She
Bam!
looked him
Was
dead in the eyes. It
like,
was like I will smoke your pops. Looking dead
first of all,
ass.
he was like, he was dead. I was like, yo, you hear this shit? Bow. I was
I was
like,
like,
oh, why was
then to
that your last
see
words?
Then to see her little boo thing that she was cutting it up with, he came back from the dead like the Crypt Keeper and jumping off on the camera. I was like, yes,
I
babe.
screamed. I was
So I'm
like, yes,
just like a
yes,
tidbit. That show shot across from a place that I used to work, like literally Raising Canaan. And I was talking to the producers on that show, and they just like really cool old white men. Um, and it was really really crazy because we were just talking about like some of the setting. It's shot in Mount Vernon, like where it shows her business that she had and everything like that. Like they shoot that right on
like
like
South Fourth or
South
some
Third,
shit.
South Fourth Avenue, or whatever the case is. And a lot of the people he used inside the show, one of the guys who like played inside of the show was also from Co-op. And he did the cameo for like security inside of the episodes. So he's using a lot of like local people from this side of town where we grew up, and I think that's really interesting too. He could also use us. I will be one of Rock's buddies. Like I always say, Kanan should be in school.
Word, put me in a leather bodysuit. Let me get the
He,
buzz
he
down because
need
You know Rock sells hair, so you know I'm perfect for that.
wait,
Give me a
come
nice little updo. What up? Let's go. We
back.
here.
Come see the school counselor. I would get him in check. I'm worried about these grades, Kanan. I'm worried about how you gonna be successful. Use a smart kid, Kanan. Like that's all I want to do. Um, but going back to what you were saying, are y'all surprised about any of the other shows? Like Shay had mentioned, like getting clipped because you told me, Maddie, about the whole Wonder Years joint, and that blew
Oh
my.
my god, yes. Cause it usually come on the same time as Abbott Elementary. So when they kept like saying Abbott Elementary, I was like, damn, where's Wonder Years? And then I was talking to a friend and he was like, yeah, no, you know, that's my shit too. And the shit got clipped. And I was like, what? And I went and Googled it. And they basically was like, the show got. And guys, so what I know is notice is happening, like the show will get canned, but another network will pick it up. So basically they're trying to shop it around to other networks to see if somebody will pick it up. That's like 911. I don't know if y'all fan because y'all know I love me some Angela
I'm
Bassett.
definitely a fan.
They got canceled on Fox, but ABC immediately picked them up. Thank God, because I was in Fox. I was gonna be out there like, what the?
Can we talk real? Cause I gotta talk to y'all, kinfolk. I gotta talk to y'all. Um, when they shop it around, I have an issue when it lands at BET. Now I love us. I love us down. I
I don't know
do.
what I thought you was about to say, but it
Me
wasn't that.
too. I was like, girl, where you going with this?
But when it gets to BET, sometimes I feel like there's like a quality that lacks. Like the cinematography always seems a little off. They be adding a laugh track where it don't belong, and they be making it melodramatic when it's not supposed to be. Like, do y'all remember the horror story of the game? Like, literally, the game was my shit. Derwin Davis and Melody. When it got to BET,
It
it
was
was like a
terrible.
telenovela. I was like, what are we doing
It
here?
was so bad. It was
It
so
was like,
bad.
Melanie, why are you not like I couldn't do
I
it.
didn't understand it. I was so
But
lost
I
with
also feel
BT.
like that I don't really feel like it depends on because I feel like part of the game was still trash on CW. It depends on. There's certain shows that do too much with the storyline too soon, because that's why Empire went downhill.
That
Like
is
it was
exactly,
too much that
exactly.
happened in season one. You leave no room for the show to grow. And I
Hmm.
feel like Derwin and Melanie, like it was so much shit. Like next thing you know, sister's on her Britney Spears, she chopping her hair off.
Right.
Like, what are we doing?
She
Like
a whole new nigga. Like,
she's
where we
sleeping with
at?
all his friends. She like it's
Right,
too
right. That
much.
part,
Like
yeah, it was a lot.
and it's
So
like
yeah,
there's no
like season
direction.
three, season three of the show got a little like, what the hell? Why is she in medical school? Like, cause I don't like how they be depicting black women sometimes. So it's like she's in medical school, she don't want to follow this nigga across the country, do whatever. Okay, cool. But then it's like they break up and she just becomes a whore. Like, I mean that
But
happens, but she could have
she
continued
became a
doing what she was
horror
doing.
doctor. She
But she
she
did.
did.
I mean, in the
Yo.
end, she did become a whore doctor. If they bought it back, but like, why did it have to be that type of like maturity? Like, why we couldn't just see her be like, "Yo, I'm gonna lock in and do what I need to do. Fuck this nigga." Like, she could have been on her like fuck nigga free shit for real. Like, doing her school thing, getting her a good job. She could have still been kicking it with the sunbeams and shit like that. Cause Tasha Mack, you want a little bitch. But I don't understand like why I had to make her just straight up be a whore. Like, I feel like it should have just showed her like growth opposed to her just
I
just
think
throw this
yeah,
pussy around.
I think your issue is with like how they depict liberation, like especially like how they show women in different lights. Like you said, if it was a positive sexual exploration, that's one thing, but she's still on her grind. It was like a
Yeah, she
trauma
wasn't no
response.
grown at all. It was just like
It
she
was
was
like a
just
whole
chasing
trauma
niggas.
response to somebody cheating on her. But I think like like I say like what BET does sometimes too. It's like I get it. We're safe in our safe space because BET is one of our safe spaces, right? And I saw what they did with Tasha Mack's character. Now they relaunched the game or whatever. I can't even entertain that. I can't even go over
I
there and
never
I
watch that.
watched
I don't know
watched a
it.
what
little
network
bit
that's
of
on,
it.
but I ain't giving
It's
it no play.
okay, y'all. It's okay. Like if you got a boring ass Saturday, you ain't got shit to do. Like it is something to throw on. You might be a little captive after after this third episode though. You're gonna be like, all right, I'm over
Only
it. But it
because
is slightly entertaining.
when it got on BT, there was an episode, right? And I remember the minute me, my mother, and my sister was watching this, it had Tasha Mack on the floor with her cornrows getting a sewing. And we were just like, done. They instantly, it
Yeah.
was,
Yeah, I
it was
remember
like,
that. I
why
do
y'all
remember
got
that.
sis out here with her Meek Mills getting a sew? Like, why was this necessary for us to
Even
see
Brandy's character, I was like, why is Brandy
Chardonnay?
ain't yeah, like come on.
It was a lot that just got added in, but I feel that way about a lot of shows. Like after a certain point, Girlfriends wasn't it. Once Maya moved
Nope.
out and was
Yep.
rich and
That was
bougie,
it.
I ain't like it no more.
Yep.
I did
Mm-mm.
either.
I ain't gonna
Like
say like we gonna throw all the way back in Living Single. They did the same thing with that. The last season in Living Single, once that light skinned nigga moved in and Kyle was no longer around, it was like,
It
well,
was
once
so
he
weird.
yeah,
comes,
like
that's the end of every show because he was on the Parkers for season 5 too, and that's who Nikki was marrying. Like once he comes in, the
oh
show's over. It's a wrap. I already know that.
Yes, light skin son
wow,
needed to
that's
be in the
why.
beginning. He needed not
Yeah,
get there towards the end.
Like that's
you
it. But
did
yeah,
just
it's
you did
like
just
that
see that.
with a lot of shows, even like with Martin. After a certain like once he started like with the record
When they
company
wasn't, yeah,
and
all of
pick
that
up the
was.
pieces, like I that was it. After that, I couldn't
Pick up the pieces. Now you
like that was like I couldn't get with it after like Pam was just like, what are we doing? Like
like that Bahamas episode with the whole wedding certificate. Like that was fucking weird. Like, cause
I'm like y'all
obviously we
just
could
finding shit to
tell.
do.
Yeah, y'all
Okay,
was just trying to fill in the season because they couldn't be on the same. They couldn't be
Right,
in
the
the same
same
but
set,
scene.
you know
yeah.
what?
But that was such a waste of a season. Like I feel like they should have just ended it the season before that and just like
But you
not
no. But
come back at all. Cause
let's keep it a
that
buck.
last season was horrible.
Let's keep it a buck though, because one, all of these are contracts, so you can't really clip until shit gets clipped. But the reality of it is that most of these shows, there's some back behind the scenes conflict sometime that goes down that makes
Yeah.
things happen. Like we love like the Fresh Prince lasted seasons even after the original Aunt Viv had left the show. However, we knew what the conflict was. When you watch the reunion and you hear them reiterate, like, Aunt Viv and Will, they had an issue. And she was saying, like, it didn't start with you, but it finished with you because you didn't support me. And they had to have that out. Same thing that went down with
Which is
Harriet.
weird to me because
Um
he was a
Harriet
child.
on
But
Family
okay.
Matters was saying something similar in nature. Same thing with Cheryl Lee Ralph and Moesha. She was like, this shit got ignorant for me. She was like, why I got Frank out here with another little side piece child and all of this other shit cheating on his ex dead wife.
Yeah,
Like
no, that was
what are you doing?
insane.
She
That
said
was the end of
integrity.
Moesha for me. Like I was
Yeah.
fucking with
But
that after that.
It was for her too. So a lot of the times, the reason why we're
Cause
like
she went to
watching
Jamaica for mad long.
She
we
Like
did. She
we
was
watching
in
as an
Jamaica
she
for
was in
audience.
like
Jamaica
3
for mad
seasons.
long.
We watching as an audience would discuss. Same thing with Countess Vaughn and Brandy. Like they had issues with each other. That's why we didn't get to see that play out because they were the best friends in the show. They were supposed to be best friends in that show. So like literally everything that we see is a byproduct of also like not just production but also the cast being like, look, I get paid enough bread to say I don't want this person sitting next to me, or I'm not getting along with this person, so don't put me in any scenes with them. Rewrite the script.
But I feel like that's producers also causing that too. Because you know, like not that you initially some people you do know who's going to be a standout character, even if that's not the intention for that person. And you end up like we'll just use Moesha for the sake of it. Obviously, Brandy is Brandy. Like that wasn't the first show she's been on.
Right.
And again, Brandy is fucking Brandy by that point. So it's like you bring in all these people because Shar Jackson wasn't a main character either. Like in the
True.
beginning, she was just one of their friends that met them at the den. Like she wasn't a
Mm-hmm.
main character. So it's like you
She wasn't a
know
main
after a
character.
while, like even when you audition somebody, you hired Countess Vaughn for a reason. You knew she was gonna bring some type of something to that show. So it's like at some point, you know it's going to catapult and don't act like you're oblivious to the fact that it's gonna cause an issue. So they play into that shit. Like
True. Because it gives main star energy. Like Countess Vaughn coming from 227. Like we knew that she was an outbreak type of talent because she was a singer. We knew that she was going to sing her ass off, and because they knew that Countess Vaughn was going to sing her ass off, Brandy couldn't sing her ass off. And I feel like that was an internal conflict for her character. Like I can't kind of do this because y'all got this other person that y'all wrote in specifically for that role,
but I
and
also
that
don't want to see you sing. I don't want to see
I
somebody
don't
that
want to.
sings
Yeah,
sing on
no.
the show. Like I
Yeah,
don't want
I
to see that.
agree.
and then,
I
but you know what's
agree.
crazy? Like you mentioned that, like Brandy was on that other show. She was on that show like Thea, and
Mhm.
Thea was like, "I don't like that raggedy little bitch." Like Thea did not like Brandy for nothing, and was like, she really didn't want to work with her because it was like competing star power energy. Like this little girl's gonna be a star, but I'm the star of this show. So a lot of the times, producers pick their favorite person, and they're like, "I'm gonna make you the star of this show." Like I'm gonna work so hard that I get the character that I'm working with, so that we can spin off and do our own thing. And that's what really happened with a lot of these TV shows. It's like if I produce you extra hard, I'm gonna get you bread. Like
Singers that like Brandy was an actual like
Right.
got
She had
albums
like
out.
yeah.
Like Tisha Campbell ended up having albums. But it's like that wasn't initially the thing. So like I have no issue watching them sing, but I don't really want to watch Moesha for Brandy to sing. Like I can just
I can
turn on
just put
your
the album
album.
on. Right. Like girl bye.
Like that's
So
not really what I'm trying to see. So it's
So if
like
Brandy had an issue with the fact that Candace Vaughn was like the singer and she wasn't, it's just super redundant because like, bitch, the point of you being on this is to showcase your acting skills. Like we know you can sing. Don't nobody want to hear you singing. Like things. Okay, so boom, Cinderella. Love that. Why? Because we know Cinderella. That's a musical. We know Brandy gonna sing her ass off. Black Cinderella. Love that. That makes sense. But Moesha, it would have never made sense for her to be on that show singing. Like, girl, bye. Or like maybe if she was set up differently as a character, maybe. But I still wouldn't have. I still probably wouldn't have been like too inclined to watch. Like, girl,
but you know
that's
what?
what
Like
that's your normal job.
it does change things. Like, cause I mean, let's be for real. When I think about the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, and I always go back to the whole Aunt Viv thing, I love the dynamic. I believed that like Will and Aunt Viv's character were related. Like I believe that dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
The way that they interacted on screen, you can't fake chemistry. When they replaced her, which is a
It
very
was
well
different.
known, like she's a well known like black producer as well. Like her and Tim Reed have their own production company.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. Shout out to Tim Reed. He teaches at Morgan, but they literally had their own production company, and I thought that that was really dope that they replaced her with somebody who was in the industry, but she wasn't a good match. Like literally, just her vibe with Will was so passive that I feel like they just had her sitting there like, okay, we related. I couldn't even buy it. I couldn't
Like
even
even the
like
whole thing, even the episode where like Uncle Phil was going into politics, Black Aunt Viv would have been supporting him. She would have been rooting him on and all of that. Like I feel like I just even in that I was like, But Viv has always like pushed that man to do what he needs to do, like for all his careers, and like he want to go into politics. Now this light skinned lady is sitting here complaining. Like I get the complaint, but like girl, like it just wasn't given. So like even though the last seasons were terrible, but you could just tell like the character of Anne Viv and what she was originally to what it transitioned to are like two. It's kind of like day and night. No, no pun intended. But
Yeah,
you could tell it was definitely like a disconnect in that
I feel
whole
like she
character.
would have even roped in little Nikki better. Like I just feel
Right.
like literally the old Aunt Viv had a handle on all of the cast. Like her connection with Ashley, her connection with Carlton and Hillary. Like she really kind of like set them into motion.
She
Like
just
when
had
she
a
needed to
stronger
check the
presence
family,
on
she
camera.
checked the family, including her husband.
She just had a stronger presence on camera.
Yeah. And the fashions was amazing. Oh,
It was
but
good.
let me not even get into it. I'm sorry. Let me not even get into it. But yeah, you could just kind of tell the disconnect. Same thing with the family matters. They switched out the moms. It just
I don't even like that
like
show to be honest. So
I wasn't in
I
love with Family
I
Matters,
wasn't,
but I
but
love Harriet. Harriet was like the realest
I
deal
was
in
about
that
to
whole show.
say
nah,
Harriet.
Harriet and
honestly, I like the grandmother. So
Oh,
I'm
stop
not even
doing
gonna
so.
hold you. Sis was just there to be there. I'm living here for free. She went and got her a man, all of that. Like
I'm
I
gonna
was
tell
here
you
for
right
sis.
now. I think my mom met her on White Plains Road. She was in there again. Her legendary.
You know, I gotta bring it up again. They did that to my show, motherfucking Living Single. I feel like Living Single could have been on to this motherfucking day. Like, come on, son. How y'all going to switch out some of the best characters of the show and then put in these weird niggas like, yeah, come on, like, I love that show. But anyway, y'all know because Latifah, that's my girl.
Now
I
you know
love
what?
her.
That's crazy. Like when I do a comparison, I know this is a big comparison that people have been making for a long time. Is about Friends and Living Single. I think the reason why Friends had that level of success too is because all of the characters that started with the show finished with the show.
It finished with the show,
And
yeah.
that's
Probably
kind of
most, that's most
different
white
about
shows.
some of their productions than our productions. Something happens with our productions where our characters start but may not always finish with the same TV show. And I think that's crazy. Like what's happening with like the black television shows where it doesn't happen. Like I hate the fact that My Wife and Kids did what they did with the Claires. The first Claire was intelligent. She was actually childlike. You believe that she was a kid going into a teenagehood. She played off of Junior well. Like I feel like it was a good thing. The next Claire, I'm like, did y'all bring in this character to kind of be like, and I'm gonna say it like this: people over sexualize like teens, and I feel like they brought in the next Claire to be more of that like sex symbol type of character, opposed to a teenage girl having conflict with her parents and her brother. So I thought it was weird ball energy because I'm just like, why she went from being like a little kid to now she's like, oh, I'm damn near like a week behind Junior in terms of age. It was very
Yeah, I don't feel like they were that close in age when the show first
Yeah.
started.
I thought they
And
was like
then
2 or 3 years apart, or maybe even
then
4.
when Jennifer Freeman got on it, they were like a year apart. Like
because you couldn't say
it
the
was weird. And then it was also the like you said, like it went from being the original Claire, her wanting to be older and doing these things, but going through like the motions of actually being a teenager. To Claire is just full fledged crop tops and tight pants and leather pants and like wet and
A
wavy and
dummy,
like what are we doing?
and she was
Like and the
dumb.
original Claire had pigtails, had like
exactly. She looked like I remember the episode where Claire was in like a dance competition or whatever the case is, and she was wearing like army fatigue and a bandana with sparkles. It
hmm
was very true to like what it was like when we were that age. Like I remember being like, oh yeah, like I did that for like dance contests and stuff like that. Then you got the next Claire who was offbeat, ignorant as fuck, and vain. And
yep.
I was just like, that was a real interesting play that they did on her character. She was self absorbed, like literally, like I said, ignorant, and just like all of these different things that the other Claire wasn't. They made her the polar opposite. And it was like for the, and I'm gonna use this to talk about like colorism. I'm gonna shine a little quick light on that. Like the other Claire was a brown melanated person, like a dark brown melanated person. And I feel like how they allow her to be intelligent and show her character was also something that people needed to see, other women of color needed to see. Then to make clear, like y'all kind of lightened her and brightened her and made it only about her being pretty was really weird, especially for that time, like that time period.
But that's what all these shows that we're talking about. Like on Viv went from being the strong, like aggressive, not aggressive, but just strong authoritative figure to being very submissive. Same thing with Family Matters. Same thing with this. They made that girl be a complete dummy. Like she was just walking downstairs, falling downstairs for no reason. Like I don't even understand. Like why is her character so dumb? Like they do that. It's like they switch all the dark skinned women, obviously the stronger women, the stronger character, and then they switch them out for these like light skinned women to make them look, just more dainty, dumb, submissive and things like that. And it just doesn't make sense to the show. Like all of these shows we talking about, the first season, the second season, those are the golden eras of those shows because those are when they had those characters. Once they switch out the characters in real life, that's when the show starts to decline.
Yeah, it just kind of it's like blaxploitation to me because I feel like it's not even just like a skin color thing. It's like why do you have to insult intelligence? Like so, it's like you take out the figures that you feel like they are exemplary of like strength, right? Like strength, they have that attitude that like demands attention, and then you switch them out for the passive and submissive female. Like just that as an archetype, I feel like you're trying to exploit blackness by saying like, hey, we do like black people, we just like them light and stupid. And that's really what I feel like TV was
But I
saying.
feel like in general, whether brown, dark, light, there's no reason for a stupid character to be there in general. Like I feel like they try to make all black people look stupid. Junior was dumb too, and he was darker than Claire.
Oh right, and he didn't
Like he
start like
didn't
that on
start
the
out like
show.
that.
He was
Facts.
a little,
Sinclair
he was a little
Sinclair was
ditzy, but
the dumb one on Living Single. So it's like Hillary, like it doesn't like to me it doesn't matter about complexion. Like somebody's always the dumb friend. Countess Vaughn was technically the dumb one on Moesha. So it's like, and she continued to be stupid on the Parkers.
Stupider.
Like
They made
she got
her
slower
dumber.
and slower. So it's like I don't even feel like it's a color thing.
Yeah, because you know what it is. Like Kim wasn't even dumb on the part, but then it's also like you said, it's making certain characters play an archetype because Kim was supposed to be like this plus size character, and wow, what we know about that is Kim wasn't even all that damn plus size. Like they was dragging the shit out.
honestly,
She
She had a
wasn't.
different body type because she had a rounder facial features. Like, but she was not considered plus size back then. They just dragged the shit out of that. But a lot of those characters, like I said, the reason why I feel like they try to make them so dumb is because from the dawn of like film and recording, they used to make us like shuck and jive and sambo and laugh and like always cut up at us, making it seem like we were buffoons. And I feel like that character reference still hold true for so many. Waldo was dumb. Junior was dumb. Kim was dumb. Like you said, Sinclair's character was supposed to start off as more so like an eccentric Dipsy character, and then they just kept dumbing her out. And as she got older, they had to change that because it didn't make sense. When she got married to Overton, they really did do more to develop her character.
Because technically he was stupid too. He started
yeah,
out
he
on
was,
like
he was,
on episode one, Kyle was smacking him upside the head and everything. Like
hmm
he was
yeah, he
really
was the
the
dumb
stupid, and
one.
they were the two stupid people that liked each other. Like that
Yeah.
was what it started out as for like a
Yeah,
good
like
three
I'm
seasons.
never gonna understand why we can't be funny and intelligent. Like, why is there like a controversy? Like, you could do a Black Big Bang Theory, and you could have everybody be silly and quirky and still be of high intelligence. And I
And
feel
it's
like
like I
they
get
made
it. Every group of friends has a friend that's an airhead. I completely understand that. Like it's very accurate, but
Mm,
it's to the extent that they take it to.
yeah.
Like they didn't have to.
It's
Like
how
you're
they
not gonna. No grown ass man is walking around smacking no other grown ass man upside the head.
not getting
who
up
not
for
about to
that.
two piece him back.
Right. It's just
It just
it's the exaggerations of the characters. Like I guess what do you call it? I guess you'd call it like a handicap. Like they just like over exaggerated. Like it's a, yeah, there are airheads in every friend group, but damn, like
because
this,
Countess
you
Vaughn
cannot be
wasn't.
this dumb.
She was an airhead on Moesha, but it wasn't to the extent that they took it to on
They
the
did on
Parkers.
Parkers, yeah.
Like she still had some good damn sense. Like to me, Countess Vaughn on Moesha, she had airhead moments, but she wasn't. She was actually crazy as fuck on Moesha. Like she was the one stalking Hakeem. Like sis was a ninja, all types of stuff. She was babysitting Miles. Like so,
They never said it that she. It wasn't so much that she was stupid. It's like she was more so like a maybe a C average student, and she was the creative. She was somebody who can sing. She was also like fashionably inclined. There
yeah,
was like
she was a
other layers.
cheerleader. She was like that's what I'm saying. She had all of that, and she had some of that on the Parkers. They just dumbed her down.
And she was supposed to go to the Fashion Institute of Lamert. I don't understand how she got to Santa Monica College. Like, I get it, they had to bring her mama to school, but I was like, if she went to the Fashion Institute of Lamert, like she could have been Gucci. Like, I mean, I feel like they didn't have to do stuff like that. Y'all took her out of her element. She wasn't trying to go to college like that. Like she was trying to go to a special school for fashion.
There's a long history of all these black shows that get clipped and how they like flip the characters and decline to the shows.